Out. What's up, everybody? You are tuned into season 2 of the 2024 SD nominated show, The Elks Call, presented by Shotgun Sports. My name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Edmonton Elks.
And we have a stacked show up ahead for everybody. Sam Roth, aka Strathcona Sam, will be joining us shortly. And we have a lot to talk about after that playoff eliminating loss at home to none other than the stubble jumping Saskatchewan Roughriders. Catherine, how are you feeling after that loss? Fart face.
Yuck. Well, in some ways, I'm kind of glad because there's no more stress anymore. It was really stressful going to every single game thinking that we still had a chance. So at least now that stress is done. And, that's it. That's that. Let's move on.
See, I think that the loss would have been a lot worse if we didn't have the tailgate chili cook-off.
Very true.
Elks missed the playoffs for a fourth straight year. Here we are, right? But at least you had a little bit of chili to soften the blow. Chili cook-off. Great time. We already have the herd chat here. Jason, the Acadian. We voted for you guys, you sweethearts. We would notice that there was 4 votes for us, and we're like, how is there votes for 182? This isn't making any sense. We had like a side chili that we had set aside for a good friend, Len. So, pretty awesome. It was a great time, chili cook-off. We're about to talk about a lot of chili cook-off here. We also have a whole show to go through, so we're going to get it started in just a moment. First, we got to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, whether you're watching on our YouTube, which is Shotgun Sports Network, Facebook, which would be the Elks Herd, or if you're listening on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Edmonton Sports Talk, or wherever you get your podcast. We salute you. We appreciate it. And while we're here, if you could go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, we would greatly appreciate it. Thumbs up, all of that good stuff. Tonight on the Elks Call, we're going to open up with some special announcements about Shotgun Sports Network and the Chili Cook-Off. After that, we're going to have the More You Didn't Know with Strathcona Sam. Then we're going to dig into the Herd Report, talking about the latest Edmonton Elks game, news, and transactions. Following that, we're going to give you an Edmonton Sports update, and then we're going to cap the show with the Fan Forum, where we discuss hot topics surrounding the Edmonton Elks, the CFL, and the sports world as a whole. Be sure to blow up the Herd chat with your comments and your questions, and we will do our best to get them onto the show. All right, announcements. Big reason why everybody's here today. It's a big one. Today's announcements are brought to you by Pug and Pigskin. Jason Basic covers all things Stamps, CFL, Calgary Flames, and NHL. Go check him out every Tuesday live on Shotgun Sports. Just had a new episode yesterday. Charleston Hughes, former CFL player Charleston Hughes, was on the show. So pretty cool. He had some technical difficulties, but don't we all?
We remember those days. Still there. We still have them.
We still have them. Sometimes you hear that zzz, and it's because my phone is too close. So, things happen, but go check out the episode regardless. New article is not up on Shotgun Sports Network. Chili Cook-Off, it took some time. Yeah. It took a little bit of time. So, busy week for us. Big one, U of A Golden Bears actually had us out for the game on Friday night. Unfortunately, it was a loss to the UBC Thunderbirds, but we definitely got to thank the U of A Golden Bears, Dylan Niedermeyer, for having us out. Greatly appreciate it. We see the Cordies all the time.
Yes.
They do the back-to-back tailgate thing, right? So they'll tailgate over at the U of A games at Foot Field, and then they'll go the next day over to Commonwealth and do the thing with the Elks. So pretty cool.
Yes.
All right. Second annual Chili Cook-Off presented by the Elks Herd, the Turf District Podcast, Edmonton Sports Talk, and You Need a Barbecue. Oh, and the Edmonton Elks. It happened on October 5th, this last Saturday. This was a bigger and better event than last year. Big thanks. Got to applause to the people. 353 voters. Yes. You people did fantastic. CFL fans. Just awesome stuff. So thanks a lot, everybody, for making it successful. Now, as you know, we did count the votes. We tallied the judges' scores. Let's bring on one of our judges right now from Saturday's cook-off. Strathcona Sam, aka Sam Roth. Well, Sam Roth, aka Strathcona Sam. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. Always thankful to have you on the show. Now, Oilers hockey is in the air, and hopefully, no more flatulence from the cook-off, right?
Yeah, again, thank you guys so much for hosting. That was a very fun event. I heard nothing but positive from all the fans, and everyone I talked to had a great time, and it was a real big hit. So I can only see this growing from here.
Nice. No, thanks a lot, man. We were going to ask you for your thoughts, but you threw them down anyways. So, no, it was really cool. What did you think of the judging experience?
It was good. Thanks a lot for including me with the likes of the Fun Police and Ginger Argo and legends of that ilk. It was pretty cool to meet those guys and go around and test everybody's chilies. What did we end up with? 14 different chilies?
Yes. 13 to 14. So we had 13, and then there was one last second that we ended up adding on there as well, right? So
yeah,
we kind of included that in the fan vote, I believe.
it was 13, and which I think it's good, because if if you end up eating a little bit more than those 13 chilies, I think it would have been a little too much. I mean, there's the jokes were running around that that was way too much chili, and thankfully it was an open air stadium.
It started off with 2-ounce portions, and then by the time I got to the last 5 or 6 stations, I was down to 1-ounce sampling.
No, that was the feedback, was that there's a lot of chili. It was almost too much for the judges. So, next year we'll be a little bit more strict on the 1 ounce.
We should have brought like palate cleansers, like sorbet or something that they have in between chilies.
Exactly. Oh, we got to give a shout out to James here, by the way, in the herd chat at the Oilers game, listening on the web. That is dedication.
That is dedication.
What a beauty.
What a beauty, exactly. We're going to give an applause to that.
Yes, let's get to this.
Let's get to this. So, tailgate chili cook-off stats are as follows. We had 13 contestants, 353 votes as opposed to 235. So that's a 50% increase.
Lots of people voted.
That is huge. And then, of course, 5 total sponsors this year versus 4 last year. Addition of EST was huge. That was amazing. 2 prizes. So we have a prize set aside for the fan vote, and then we have a prize set aside for the judges vote. The judges vote will obviously get the more pristine prize. Now, somebody could have gotten both. Somebody could have gotten both prizes.
Technically, somebody could have.
We have Ginger Argo is asking here in the herd chat right now who won the chili. So we're getting there. But anyways, let's moving right along here. 5 judges this year. That was the biggest improvement. Grey Cup Fun Police officers Dave and Jeff. Ginger Argo, who is just here in the herd chat. Travis Kara of 2-0 podcast, and of course Strathcona Sam. So this is it was a nice combination of
definitely, and I mean
CFL celebrities and fans, right?
And I think the addition of the judges was a very important part of this, because we wanted to make it fair. We understand that it's really easy for people to bring in their friends, to bring in, maybe they have a lot of booze to give out. We've seen that before.
Yeah. There was definitely some bribes.
So because of that, we know that we needed to find people that would be fair, and there would be a fair judging scoring sheet, so that at least everybody's chilies are being tasted objectively.
Yeah.
And then there's still the fan vote that everybody can just pick their favorite and have fun, and everybody can walk around in the tailgate and taste some chilies and talk to people and whatnot. So I think
that was the coolest part. Sorry to cut you off. Was especially myself being new to tail. I mean, I've been a long time season ticket holder, but I'm new to tailgating this year, and being able to go around to everybody's tailgate and see how they do it, and see their family and friends that come out, and just all like-minded CFL, big CFL fans, and just kind of restored my faith in the CFL, and I know the numbers are going to bounce back now after this season.
Oh yeah, no, and then you said it there best, Sam. This was about, and this is what it was about last year, and this is why we keep doing it. This event is all about the camaraderie, breaking down the walls of the segregated stalls, in a sense. This is about breaking that barrier down and talking with your fellow tailgater, having a couple words. Because, even if you look at last year, it was in Lot A. The tailgate was in Lot A. They moved over to Lot B, and everything got jumbled up. Well, some of the people that were chatting back and forth at the chili cook-off last year, they ended up becoming neighbors this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just built up the community even more. And it was really cool to see you be a part of that as well. I mean, you've been one of our neighbors down there. We got to name that row. We'll figure out a cool name for that row at some point.
Definitely.
But
we will, for sure.
Yeah, man. And I mean, it's cool that we get that interaction, but we also don't get to move around ourselves either, right? So it's even just handing out flyers and getting the awareness about it. That's some of that stage for us, is where we get to break down that wall. So it's cool, man. Once again, can't thank you enough for judging in this. But we have the announcements. Everybody's tuned in.
Yeah.
Let's go through this. So first, we're gonna do the fan vote.
Drum roll.
The fan vote. I got the drum roll ready here. So this is our fan vote here. We are gonna do in third place. In third place for the fan vote.
Did I need to highlight them? Sorry.
No, we're good. No. In third place for the fan vote with 34, we have Dave McKinnon.
Right on, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave McKinnon of Stall 101 is in third for the fan vote. In second for the fan vote, with 47 votes, we have Stall 160, Gary Dewar.
Nice, Gary.
At second place. And for first place in the fan vote, with 117,
Ooh.
it's Mike Taylor.
Oh, right on.
I know, and listen, I know that seems a little insane, but this is a fan vote, and we were making sure that people were voting once.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe by the end, some might have escaped, but we did try to do our best possible to make sure that there was no funny business going on. There's only so much that we can do. And, that was a popular one. It was very, very, very popular.
I mean, I may have seen a Jake Taylor jersey.
What was happening? I don't know what was happening there.
We're going to take a look at the rule book for next year to figure out how we can make this just a little bit more competitive. Because, I mean, we're talking about like an over 50 to 60 point gap here. Now, maybe it was that good of a chili, but our judges... let's get to the judges' vote, shall we?
Yes.
Let's get to the judges' vote. Okay, so this is for the trophy. So the last, the fan vote, you guys, Mike Taylor, congratulations. You will be getting a prize package combined with a bunch of stuff. Sorry, not a bunch of stuff, a bunch of prizes from our sponsors and our partners. So we're going to be putting those together. We're going to be handing these out at the next Edmonton Elks tailgate. But we do have the trophy here, the trophy on the line. This is the judges' vote.
Yeah, and I just want to point out with the judges' vote is that there was no perfect score.
Nobody was perfect.
Nobody was perfect, right? Which is, I mean, in many ways, that's a good thing, because it feels like everybody was, the judges were trying very hard to be objective in how they were scoring. So that's good. But that just means that, there's a little bit of room for growth next year.
That's right.
Yeah, no, nobody was perfect, and I think that's what we want to see. But there was a clear-cut winner here. So let's go over these numbers. In third place, with a score of 100, it is Dave McKinnon.
Yay.
Dave McKinnon.
Dave McKinnon can cook.
Dave McKinnon can cook. He was the winner of the tailgate burger cook-off. So Dave McKinnon was going for 2 for 2 here in the tailgate. He did a very good job. Still stayed very competitive. I mean, we're talking about a tailgate dynasty type figure here. So very cool. But we do have our second place here. Second place in the Elks tailgate chili cook-off. The judges vote for the cup. Second place with 107 votes. Daryl Paquette of Stall 87.
Yay.
Daryl Paquette, you did a great job over there. There was a lot of people that were talking it up. That was fantastic. So
I
congratulations.
believe he actually used real elk meat in his.
Yes.
Okay, so that
I saw the picture. So Daryl said that it was his partner in the tailgate who went ahead and got some elk. He chucked the meat himself. I saw pictures of it, and I am very disappointed that I didn't get to try that and taste it.
It was very good. It had quite a heat to it, but he actually had avocado as a topping, so it actually cut the heat nicely.
Nice.
Yes.
Army Chris was the chef.
Here you go.
Hey, nice. Congratulations, Daryl. Thanks for tuning in, man, and congrats on that second place.
It was very close.
Very close. We're talking about a difference of 5 votes.
Points.
4 points. 5 points. 5 points, not votes.
I mean, between 5 judges, that could have been the difference of 1 point per judge, really.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, very close in the point scoring. And I mean, obviously this works because from third to first, we had a 12-point difference in the judging. So, yeah, I mean, it there's not too many that are very, very low. Like the average on this, I wish I would have averaged these. But the average is actually probably like around a 95 on this.
Yeah.
So, once again, congratulations
chilies.
to everybody that that did compete. But we do have a new champion this year. We have a new tailgate cook-off, chili cook-off champion. And the winner of the trophy, it's 160, Gary Dewar.
Hey.
Gary Dewar at 160 with 112 points in the judging to get first overall. Congratulations, Gary. If anybody wants to see, like, we're pretty transparent. We even had like an official scoring card and everything. Honorable mentions here. Blair Benson had a pretty good one. Mike Taylor's did not break 100 here, no. I will say. Mike Taylor still had a good chili. Like, I tried it. It was a good chili. I am
going to be totally honest. I only had 2 chilies, which I was extremely disappointed about. I really wish that I had the time to taste a little bit more. But I did taste Jason and Andrea's there in the chat, and it was so good. That one there had like a little surprise kick at the end, and that I love. That you eat it and you're like, oh, that's not bad at all. And then suddenly a couple of seconds later, you're like, whoa.
Andrew
loved it. It was so good.
Andrew and Jason's did beat out, let's say, Turf District in the scoring.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And once again, we are fully transparent. If you want to see your scorecards just to see where you stacked up, please let us know. Just send us a message and we can definitely share that with you guys. But congratulations, Gary. That was great. And just like Scout said, we will be handing out all of the prizes and the trophies at the next tailgate.
Yeah, so the trophy presentation will be 1 hour before the game, before that Argonauts game. So I want to say that's a 7:30 start, so probably around 6:30 if that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, 7:30 start, so it's going to be a 6:30 trophy presentation and prize handout. We'll get everybody together, get all the partners together, judges together if they're available, and we will hand out the prizes. So once again, everybody, can't thank you enough for participating. We're going to be capping this at 15 contestants for next year.
I think so. I think it was the right amount. We were trying to go for 25 to 30, and I think that would have been absolutely insane. So I'm glad that we ended up with the numbers that we did, and that was a really good first kind of gauge. It allowed us to gauge exactly what the good point, like the sweet spot was for the amount of chilies that we can have.
It was very well ran, you guys, and thank you very much for hosting, and that was a lot of fun, and like you say, it built a lot of camaraderie and actually did lessen the blow of losing to those stubble jumpers.
It did. Everybody was too full and happy to care.
Yeah, it is a consolation prize anyways for the loss. Now we do have Jimmy in the chat. Thanks to the Elks Herd, you guys were fantastic from the sous chef. Thanks.
There you go. We do have somebody.
Mick Aussie also had a question up there just above. Big Sammy on the show. Yeah, so Mick Aussie in the herd.
My boy.
Yeah.
Mickey boy.
Ginger Argo, congrats to all amazing cooks in Edmonton. See you all in 3 weeks. Thank you. Yay, Stall 160 was great. So yeah, we got a lot of comments here in the herd chat. Thanks a lot, everybody, once again, for like Mike Taylor, who won the cook-off. Mike Taylor gets in the herd chat here. Mike Taylor, you won the fan vote. Mike Taylor, congratulations, you won the fan vote. Let's give you another a little cheer and an applause. Mike Taylor, you won the fan vote. You did not win the trophy, unfortunately. But like I said, yeah, we
160 once again. Gary Dewar
ended up.
Dewar. Sorry.
Oh, all good. No, Gary Dewar ended up winning the trophy. So just fantastic. We're gonna be doing this every year, and yeah, I can't wait for next year. Yeah. So thanks everybody. Thanks a ton, Strathcona Sam, aka Sammy, for being a judge. It was really cool having a fan also step up to be a judge.
Of course.
We have had fans in the past kind of reach out.
I was really glad because obviously, you know, we did have people that we had in mind and people flying in like Ginger Argo. Thank you so much. Coming all the way from Toronto just to taste some chili. I love it. But, you know, I think it was important to have somebody from the tailgate as well be part of that experience.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure.
Thanks a lot again.
Yes, Mike Taylor here in the chat. Yeah, a man of the people.
Mike Taylor is a man of the people. Mike Taylor's pretty good. No, really, really cool that Mike ended up winning that. Mike put his heart and soul into that chili cook-off booth. I heard a rumor that Dave McKinnon and Mike were going back and forth over the chili, over whose was best and who won. Oh my
goodness!
And I mean, hey, rightfully so, because Dave McKinnon is a freaking beast when it comes to cook-offs and competitions and just in general in cooking in the tailgate. So, but we have a whole lot more show to go. So let's get into the more you didn't know, where we talk to our guest about a variety of topics. The More You Didn't Know is brought to you by the Winnipeg Terminal. Catch the flight with Mike and Joe every second Wednesday as they get you fueled with all the latest in Bombers and Jetsland. Wheels up. Wait until you see the Herdies. Oh my God. I have a good Herdies ad today. All right.
Tons.
Sam, we have one constant question on this show, and you're the latest subject. How did you become a Double E fan? What's your favorite game you've ever been
to? Most painful game was 2002 Grey Cup. We lost on like a 60-yard touchdown to Montreal, and then probably 2003 West semi. We played Winnipeg, beat them at home, and then we went to Saskatchewan and won the Grey Cup that we should have won in 2002.
That would have been a good one. But how did you become a Double E fan? Have you been?
I was basically, my dad was a really big fan. He actually almost missed my birth because he was at an Eskimo game. So yeah, it's pretty much I was born to be an Eskimo / Elks fan.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, I'm glad that he didn't. Yeah, I'm sure your mom would.
He just made it in time.
That's so funny.
I looked it up. I think Hamilton was in town, so I don't blame him.
And I mean, those are all fun and happy memories. But as we all know, the Elks are out of the playoffs for a fourth straight season. So one of the reasons for fans returning is a tailgate. Of course, you've been in the tailgate for a little while. What's your thoughts on how the Elks have grown the tailgate this year?
Awesome. I like to see all the OG Eskimo / Elk fans that are still supporting, even though the product has a ways to go. I like that we now have a new owner. I think that's going to be really big for us going forward. And I don't know about you guys, obviously being called, the Elks Call and the Elk Herd. I think we should put that whole name thing to bed. I think we're beyond that now. We've moved past that, and I'm quite happy with being the Elks.
Yeah. You know what? We are too, because we're dreading the whole conversation of having to rebrand ourselves.
No, but this is cool. This is also cool because you're somebody that visibly wears your Eskimos gear. You've obviously been following this team for a long time. We're not going to be digging into this for very long at all. But what I do think is cool is, it's you're a fan. You're in the tailgate. You spend your money on the team. You could be like everybody else that's complaining about the name, or you could just be happy for Edmonton football. And I think that's the culture in the tailgate. That is really cool because we're all spending our money to go tailgate for the 3 hours before. Obviously, the prices increased this year. Whatever. There's some people that are choked. There's some people that just understand that, hey, this is still the best decision, and it's a no-brainer decision. It's an event before the event. It's no matter what, the tailgate's always a win, as LT would say, right?
It's I would like to hear what Ginger Argo has to say, but I know my wife's in-laws came up for the tailgate. They're Saskatchewan fans there for the chili cook-off, and they were blown away about how we do it. I mean, Calgary has a pretty good tailgate, but I think we represent quite well.
No, and I can tell you that Ginger Argo, and we've been to Ginger Argo's tailgate.
Yes.
Which is really cool about this. So
he was telling me they get together like 10 hours beforehand or something crazy.
Yes.
Now,
his tailgate spot carries the entire tailgate in Toronto.
That's awesome.
Well, for real. And then on top of that, depending on what's happening, so over at Budweiser, they could have a concert.
Right.
All these trucks are in the way. It's not as tight-knit and community-based as ours is, I will say. Now, Calgary, I think they're the number one for tailgating, but I don't think anybody has a chili cook-off.
I keep hearing it's Hamilton.
No, well, Hamilton has a pretty good tailgate too.
Well, my goal.
We'll have to go visit.
Yeah, we have to go check it out first of all, but then after that is make sure that the Elks tailgate becomes number one.
Yeah, we're on a quest. But getting back to it here, Sam. Now, what would you change? What would you change in the tailgate party? Like, what do you think could be improved?
I just think there's not a lot of people that actually even know it exists or where it exists, and I think that now that people understand on what side of the, it's on the southwest side of the stadium, and it's accessible from the backside, not the real busy side of the stadium. I think that'll make a difference.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like, a couple of signage points, just, maybe one of those boards that say tailgate this way.
Yeah. Get over to the tailgate.
From the LRT station or on that side where the entrances are on that side.
Well, and that's actually the biggest complaint is getting off the LRT. You barely even know that the tailgate is there.
Yeah.
Right. If you go in from the LRT, you're directly into the stadium, or you're in that fan fest. And even then, I don't know if they're doing the fan fest, but it's usually cheap beers. It captures you right there, and then you're hooped. Or people from the LRT will also, get there right before the game, so they just walk directly and they pregame at home. So it's all about dragging people down there early, but also, like you said, bringing the awareness. Now, Jason here in the herd chat. Our friends from Hamilton thought our tailgate was way better.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. I still want to go check it out. I've heard really good things about that one. But then it really depends what you're looking for, right? I'm not really sure what kind of tailgate they have over there, but ours is very lively, like the live music, everybody's, hanging around, talking. There's a lot of buzz going on. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things going on, especially with the additions that we've done this year. It's busy.
Yeah, and I find everybody's very welcoming. Doesn't matter what team you cheer for. They're just happy you're here supporting.
It's all about CFL football. Before we get on to the next question here, Dave McKinnon in the herd chat. Hey, thanks for the props, gang. I'm tuning in from out of town. Took a while to get connected. Did I hear that Mike won the fan vote by over 50 votes? You failed to crack 100 judges' points? I tuned in just when you said real review was in order. Yes, that's exactly what we said, Dave McKinnon. Talking that smack, bringing it to the herd chat. Oh, this is great. This is.
We knew it was going to happen, which is why we made it work the way that we did.
setting it up for next year. I love it. The rivalry continues.
Yes. was. But let's bring it back. So we know by now that the Elks lost to the Roughriders in a very dramatic fashion. But we do have to ask, as a fan, does this year's elimination hurt more or similar to years past?
Similar. I'm, especially being a diehard Oilers fan as well. I'm so used to losing that I always just set my expectations really low and then go from there. So I would just say it's similar. I mean, you can't dig yourself 0-7 holes and expect to. There's a lot of growing that we had to do this year, and we have a great talented lineup. Our defense is really good, and our offense looked great, but it just didn't seem to all come together for many wins at the start there. And then when you dig an 0-7 hole, you can't lose from there on out. So,
let's look at the show notes. Kind of expected it from 0-7.
Yeah, I mean. And that's the way that I think I mentioned it last week. It's like when your expectations are low, there's no disappointment.
That's right.
If you're kind of, if you put the bar really low, then whatever comes above that bar is a plus and a win and a party. Otherwise, you're like, yeah, okay, well, that was expected. So I feel like that's how we should go about this. Maybe not for next year, but we'll talk about that.
No, but there is improvements this season. So there is some improvements, right? So all within Larry Thompson owning the team. Couple weeks goes by. He gets his first home game. We saw the return of major fireworks, the helmet tunnel, and other game day activations. So, what's your thoughts on that? Did you even notice that some of these items went missing over the years?
Oh, I totally have. Totally noticed all that. What used to be included in your season ticket was slowly getting chipped away to and another thing that really hurt us was they took us for granted and they kept giving us Thursday night football games at bad times because we were always leading the league in attendance, and that eventually caught up with the league, I think.
Yeah, no, Thursday night games, everybody does indeed, dropping the B bomb, bitch. Everybody bitches about the Thursday night games. But
absolutely.
Yes.
You can't have 3 to 4 Thursday night home games.
Yeah, we had quite a few last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Kathy's been Kathy came in as an Elks only fan. You weren't an Eskimos fan, so you came in the days of the Elks. She didn't even see the inflatable helmet tunnel.
No. Well, I've seen pictures of it before. But
look at what we lost. Look what they took from us.
That's exactly
or Nanook.
Yes. I have my comments on that one.
No, but she didn't even know about Nanook until 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm like,
no, I knew about him, but I thought that was just a one-off. And then you told me no, he was there every single game.
What I would say highlight from this season for me was I got to go down to Labor Day in Calgary. And we finally won. I think I've been to that game 9 times in my life, and that was the first time we'd ever won that I was there. So, and then come back and beat them again at home. I thought, here we go, we turned the corner here, but it didn't pan out there in the end.
Yeah, no, that's I will gladly agree. I think we all thought that this team was something they weren't, and then we found out that we were who we thought they were.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, besides winning, which of course is a given, what else could be better on the Double E game days, do you think?
That's a good question. We do everything right. One thing that bothers me, and I know it probably bothers a lot of other people, is that bag policy. And I don't know if that'll change with having new ownership, if he can change that. I mean, it's quite intrusive to some people to be able to see what's, whatever they're going through to not have any privacy going through that gate. I mean, that's a bit of an issue. I think they could do better.
No, and that is a sentiment that echoes, because there are people that have medications, prescriptions, certain items. If you have a needle and you're diabetic, you don't want people judging you, right? So and I get why they do it. It is an international stadium standard at this point. But it's also Canada, where guns are extremely hard to obtain. And
well, no, I mean, and even
I get the knives. I get
Not
it.
necessarily that point, because you can always increase security a little bit more.
Metal
Or
detector.
Metal detector, yeah.
all of that, right?
precisely.
So I feel like there's ways around that, but unfortunately, we're also tied to the city's ruling and what they want to do, right?
For
So
sure.
unless somebody buys the stadium, or
Larry
if Larry, or if Larry can, really, put some influence into some of the decisions from the city. Unfortunately, we just have to go with what they say. But
Yeah.
hopefully, even the city themselves hear a lot about that. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But getting back to it, who else do you cheer for in the realm of sports, Sam?
Big time Oilers fan. Also was born an Oilers fan. I call myself CFL Sam in all my NFL fantasy leagues because I don't really follow any NFL teams, but I still play the fantasy and try to participate with that. But that's about it, really. Just a homegrown Edmontonian and cheer for my hometown teams, and that's about it.
I love it.
Sherwood Park Crusaders.
Oh yeah.
For the crew, let's go. One crew. Hashtag one crew. Let's go.
You betcha. Yeah. No, I've been a season ticket holder of the Crusaders for a lot of years as well.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we always make sure that we volunteer for at least one of the games there, because it's always such a good time. It's like it's a very different kind of environment, but it's always such a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good hockey. It had like these players have technical implications, right? They could end up making it somewhere. And I mean, the Sherwood Park Crusaders also have a good history as well. Like they brought up quite a few prospects, and they continue to do so.
I feel it's like college football or university football here. These kids have something to prove.
Yeah,
definitely.
And when they have something to prove, you see some really cool games. Some things that you may not necessarily see from the Oilers because they're a little worried about getting injured. Same thing with the Edmonton Elks, that they're a little worried about getting injured. You don't see that with these kids. These kids go all out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And for the price of parking at an Oilers game, you can get 2 tickets to go watch them. So,
boom.
Very true.
For the crew.
It's
for the crew, yeah.
And it is entertainment. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a sports fan in general, that's just a really good way to have a night out for 3 hours and have a good time.
Totally.
But where can Elks fans find you online, Sam? And where can they find you on an Elks game day?
Elks game day, you can find me at Stall 167. Come by, say hello. I'd love to meet you face to face. I don't do much social media stuff. I follow my teams and stuff like that on now X. I'm at Hardcore Oiler if anybody wants to follow. But I don't really, not a whole online presence. If you want to come see me, it'll be in the flesh.
Love it. No, that's some days I wish that we could just get right back to that. Where is that? I know that
your phone is right there.
Oh, nice. It's because I'm getting messages. That's why it's going haywire. Outside of this, Sam, what's your hobbies like outside of sports, man? What do you get up to? What's your thing?
I like to camp and golf. A lot of fishing, and my kids take up most of my days. So between working and them, it's a little bit of time for some golf and camping, and then back at her. And
I noticed that your Twitter bio says long time or forever. You forever have a membership at the Fort McMurray Golf Course. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Even though I haven't lived there in probably 15 years, I still am a lifetime member up there. And if you also read there, I still am the self-proclaimed mayor at Big Valley Jamboree.
I love it.
Oh, so awesome, man. Well, we know that there is a big hockey game on right now, and of course you're a family guy as well, so we won't hold you back any further. But thanks a lot for joining us, Sam. This was fantastic. Thanks again for judging in the chili cook-off. And
thanks for having me so much, you guys. Again, thanks for hosting, and looking forward to next season already.
Oh, for sure, man. Can't wait. We'll see you at the next home game, October 25th, and enjoy the game tonight, man.
Okay, thanks, man.
Cheers.
See you, Catherine.
Let's go Oilers.
LGO.
Go Oilers.
And that was Sam Roth, aka Strathcona Sam. a judge in this year's chili cook-off. Big Edmonton sports guy. All around great dude. Find him at the Elks game. Go say hi. What was that stall number again? Do you remember? No. He's right across from us. So stall 182, and he's literally right across from us. And you can't miss him.
I think it's like 167.
Yeah,
if
somewhere
I'm
around
thinking
there.
correctly. Yeah.
Something, or 162
One
or
or
something
other.
like that. Yeah,
Mick Aussie here in the chat. Drinking beers.
Drinking beers is hobby. Yes. Oh, Gary Dewar.
Yep.
The champion.
There you go. Champions on the chat over here.
Gary Dewar in the herd chat. Awesome. Very thrilled. Yeah, that chili cook-off was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It is a blast. Quick story before we continue forward with this depressing game recap. Catherine here ended up backing me up after a really bad heartburn episode for 24 hours. Was fighting it with Tums. I will tell you the culprits, and it's not the Golden Bears football game, but it's the act of eating hot dogs at the Golden Bears football game. Of course, had a beverage or two, right? Went back to the house, proceeded to eat pizza, listen to Creed until 1 a.m, and somewhere in there, the heartburn really kicked up. And I didn't sleep very much heading into the chili cook-off. So I was not exactly at 100%. Catherine, thank you so much for picking up the slack and covering for me there. And then, of course, as some people may have seen on Twitter, was not able to make it through the whole game. I had another arm injury too. It was just, sometimes I was a mess.
It had nothing to do with chili either, which is
nothing to do with chili. I had the only chili I had was Mike Taylor's.
Yeah.
I only had some of Mike Taylor's, and it wasn't spicy. It wasn't crazy. There may or may not have been some other stuff that may have caused that. So I don't know. It was just, it wasn't a good scenario. But once again, thanks to everybody for participating in the chili cook-off. After the chili cook-off, there was a pretty depressing game at Commonwealth Stadium featuring the Edmonton Elks and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So let's talk about it in the Herd Report. Their Herd Report is brought to you by the Forge podcast. Experience the latest in Birmingham sports with Ryan Messer as he gives you the latest news and updates. Find the Forge every week on Shotgun Sports Network. Forge on. And he is covering the SPHL, minor league, G League, UFL. UFL's right around the corner again.
I know.
Like,
he's a busy guy.
Very busy guy. Once again, check him out. Check out what Ryan Messer is up to over at the Forge. Kathy, let's talk about this game. Like, I want to go get a beer or something. Like,
no, let's just get right through this.
Let's get through it.
If we all have to suffer, you have to suffer. So there you go. So the game recap. The Elks faced the Saskatchewan Roughriders on October 5th and lost. There you go. There's your recap. Let's close it there. Just leave it at that.
No, let's do the thing.
28-24 was the final score. But yes, let's break it down quarter by quarter here. First quarter, the Elks started somewhat strong, with Edmonton's defense holding Saskatchewan to a punt on their first drive. They also managed to score a single point of a 75-yard punt on the responding drive, which is, of course, good and bad. I mean, it shouldn't come down to a punt.
No,
really.
it shouldn't.
Really, when that's the only point that you get during the quarter. That it really, I mean, obviously it's good because that was Jake Julian.
Jake Julian, honor roll recipient of the week. Jake Julian, along with Luchez Purifoy. But Jake Julian, all-star, highest voted all-star athlete, all-star player for the Edmonton Elks. Jake Julian, and we've talked about this on the show almost every week. He is the most consistent player on this team.
When was the last time that you saw the most valuable player, we'll say it, from the Edmonton Eskimos or Elks in the past? When was the last time that the punter took that position?
Like what? Like a Sean Fleming was kicker? Was he punter too? I don't know. Like, I don't know if ever. I really don't know. Like as like the top vote getter,
Right.
I don't think this has ever happened before,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong.
So that's crazy, and that's what I mean by good and bad. I mean, good for Jake, bad for the team itself when we're relying on Rouges to get anywhere in this game, right? Defensively, the Rough Riders managed to contain the Elks' rushing attempts. They notably stopped Rankin and Leak for very minimal games. MBT connected multiple times with receivers, including Mitchell, Gittens Jr., and Mathis. They made steady progress down the field. They had a couple of successful rushes by Justin Rankin, added yards. But of course, there were some setbacks really early on. There was a loss on a rush and an incomplete deep pass intended for Dylan Mitchell really early in the quarter. And by the end of the quarter, Edmonton was steadily advancing the ball. But if there's something that we have seen in a lot of past games is, those short passes on a first down or second down and rushes on a second down that just gets us nowhere. And suddenly we're punting the ball away. Right?
Yeah. You get sick of seeing it, and I think what sucks about it too is we've just seen this so much, especially earlier on in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought we were past this. We thought we were past these types of scenarios.
Yeah. Well, especially when you know that MBT can do some of those long throws. And I don't know if he was just a little.
Well, it seemed a little bit like it was maybe some of the play calling.
Yeah.
Like the play calling, or Saskatchewan was also playing really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Saskatchewan was covering the Elks very well. I will say that. But MBT didn't look exactly the most comfortable back there either.
No, and it's like you say, it's the same story, right? When we're doing short passes and rushes, the game moves really quickly in the sense that suddenly the ball is being, punted away right away. Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned that even over the weekend, right after the game. We were watching the Packers game, and I was like, you know what? I kind of like the 4 down thing. Mm-hmm. Mostly because it just makes it feel a lot longer, that you have another chance. Because sometimes I'll be talking to you in the middle of the game and realize that we're punting the ball away, and it's been like a minute, and I'm like, what happened to our drive? Like, what the hell happened? If you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it because they're just not doing anything with it. But let's move on to the second quarter. In the second quarter, the Elks continued their offensive momentum with MBT connecting on several key passes with Curly Gittens Jr. and Zach Mathis. It, of course, helped the Elks move the ball deep into Saskatchewan territory. A critical 22-yard pass to Gino Lewis would set the stage for a 1-yard touchdown rush by Javon Leak,
right,
giving Edmonton a lead. So, however, the drive was marred by penalties on both sides, including unnecessary roughness and objectionable conduct. Wow, I struggled there.
You got it, though.
Which complicated the game, but still resulted in a successful extra point conversion. The Elks defense did not manage to slow Saskatchewan's return game, however. Harris immediately passed for a touchdown and a 2-point conversion by Duncan Busby. The Elks offense also seemed to struggle on the next possession with an incomplete pass and yet again another punt. But hey, what about those Harris sacks?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, what about Harris' sack? What?
Those Harris sacks.
Oh, Harris sacks.
Not Harry sacks. Those Harris sacks. So good on Nick Anderson and DeMarcus Christmas for those ones right there. Back-to-back sacks.
Nick Anderson, Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Give it to him now. Especially for the Edmonton Elks. He's definitely Elks Rookie of the Year, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Right after that, Edmonton regained the rhythm later in the quarter with a series of completions from MBT, including a 38-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Mitchell.
Mm.
The Elks' second touchdown extended the lead, of course, but the momentum shifted when MBT threw an interception with less than a minute left in the half. That's weird to see Gino Lewis not catching those ones because that went right through Gino Lewis's hands.
Yeah, but this is once again bring it back to 0-7 Elks.
Yeah.
What was some of the stuff we saw even in the first game of the season opener, in and out of Gino's hands? And it could be the speed of the ball. It could be Gino not necessarily reeling it in, but Gino Lewis still had himself a good game. 87 yards. I forget the exact amount of receptions, but 87 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Still good stats from Gino.
Of course, and we see it all the time, right? Sometimes it's just a play that just doesn't go the way that it's intended.
But that's the 2024 Edmonton Elks.
Yeah.
Critical moments. Stats are good on paper. Everything says you should be winning this game. Oh, except for the fact that you had a penalty to extend a drive to give them
at the wrong moment.
Yeah,
Fumbles at the wrong moment, which we will get to, and
heartburn at the wrong moment. By the way, that is Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Thank you. I am feeling much better. I've also been eating zero spicy food for the last while, so we're cleaning up this diet as I sip away on a coffee.
Yes, cleaning it up.
And Jason also in the herd chat. MBT was really good at throwing the ball far, too far, because too bad it was usually farther than the receivers could run.
Yes, we have seen that a lot.
Jason with the hammer.
But yeah, anyways, after that, of course, Saskatchewan capitalized on the turnover with a field goal to close the half. Going into the third quarter, it began shaky. It was a shaky start for the Elks as MBT threw an interception to Saskatchewan's Milligan Jr., who returned it to the Edmonton 20-yard line.
Life's just a Milligan.
Despite this turnover, a penalty in Saskatchewan pushed them back, which gave the Elks defense some breathing room, which really the only thing that it accomplished was holding them to a field goal during their drive. So they still got some points on the board for that.
Got it, yeah.
Offensively, the Elks struggled with their ground game as Javon Leake was held once again to minimal gains. However, MBT responded with a couple of key completions, including a deep pass to Curly Gittens Jr. for 22 yards, followed by a 24-yard pass to Gino Lewis. The drive resulted in a 10-yard touchdown pass to Lewis, though the Elks missed the extra point.
And you could tell, like, that would have been a great shot of Section X had we been there. I had the FOMO. I'm like, the Elks are coming back. Here we go. Start the truck. I want to be down there. Like, I want to be in the tailgate. Bring me back to the tailgate. I was so excited when I saw that because I thought the Elks were turning the page.
Yeah, but they didn't.
But they didn't. Life's just a Milligan.
Yes. Edmonton's defense lacked once more. And even though Harris was sacked once more by Niles Morgan, they still managed to come back from that and score a touchdown right away. So that did nothing for us. The Elks... That's a boo for anybody that thinks otherwise. Anyways, the Elks couldn't generate much yardage on the following drive. They had short completions to Rankin and Mathis, and once again, it just led to a punt. Saskatchewan managed a solid return, setting them up at their own 45-yard line as the quarter ended. And going into the fourth quarter, once again, the Elks struggled to sustain offensive momentum. After a 5-yard rush by Javon Leake, the Elks failed to convert a second down pass and punted to Saskatchewan. Story of the game. We just can't do anything about it. We're not able to make it past second downs, and we have to punt the ball away. Harris must have been hurting, though, by this point, because he had another sack by Elliott Brown. So,
how many sacks on the game? Do you have the stat?
I think it was 4. That would have been 4.
At least 4,
yeah, that was 4.
Okay.
So, it did result in a fumble that Saskatchewan recovered in a very disappointing fashion. So, the Elks' next possession, it featured a 25-yard completion to Gino Lewis, bringing them into Saskatchewan territory, and a penalty for holding offset a defensive pass interference call but they managed to move forward with short passes to end the drive with a successful 36-yard field goal by Boris Beatty. Adding points, but really failing to capitalize fully on the field position. So, as the game came to a close, the Elks saw another opportunity to make another offensive push, thanks to Purifoy's interception, which he had another one of those. I think he's had one pretty much every single game.
Almost every game. I
past little bit.
mean, it's
He's
Nick
been great.
Anderson. It's one of three guys.
Yeah,
Bynum, Anderson, or Purifoy.
yeah, they've been great.
If you were to look at the stats, I would be really interested to look at every single game, and I would say there's a really good chance of one of those three guys having an interception.
Yeah.
In each of those games.
Yeah. An incomplete pass, however, right after that, and short gains once again forced a punt, and Saskatchewan's following possession really ate into the clock. On Edmonton's final drive, they showed promise with completions to Tevin Jones and Javon Leake, but it was cut short when Gittens Jr. fumbled after a 21-yard catch. Talk about those pivotal, moments that you just, one of those things that you just don't miss. Wrong time. Worst time for a fumble. Saskatchewan, of course, recovered the ball, effectively sealing the game for the Roughriders. Like, what could have happened? What could have happened if he hadn't fumbled that ball at that point? We only lost by 4 points. They could have made it through the drive, and that was a potential touchdown.
Well,
right
mind you,
there.
that was also good defense by Saskatchewan in
Of
the sense
course.
of he punched that ball out,
Yeah.
but he swung that ball out of there.
They did not want.
Now, if
anything
you're an
moving.
Elks fan sitting there though in the seats, and for once I was happy I wasn't there for that moment.
Yeah.
Because to have to deal with everybody after you're already so excited down there in Section X or wherever you may be sitting, and you watch that happen, and the Riders fans are going to eat you alive in the seats. And
very true.
once again, your house is not a home. Once again, Commonwealth Stadium does not feel that glowy, bright, towering over the opposition feeling. No, it is. We are mice in this massive cathedral, and really, I mean, the Elks now have to go back to the drawing board for another season.
Yeah.
This is the frustrating part. Like as fans, we don't get to be as loud and raucous as we want to. You go back to that Calgary game, and the experience was just so amazing to have everybody just like the energy bursting out of the cracks of Commonwealth Stadium. Going back to this,
Yeah.
like this last home game here, it's tough to expect a really loud crowd or a great crowd or it's what positivity. Now we're watching for the future once again, and we don't even know if Trey Ford is going to be a part of this team next year. There is nothing but question marks all over this team, especially after that loss. If you make it to the playoffs, if you scrape your way into the playoffs, you're saving a lot more jobs than what you are now as far as that on-field product.
Yeah, that's
that
very
on-field
true.
team, that on-field roster.
That's very true.
Yes, Devondrick Bynum, UAB alum. Correct. Nice. UAB.
Right.
Birmingham, Alabama. Ryan Messer in the herd chat of the Forge and Shotgun Sports Alabama.
Came out of nowhere.
Well, that is Ryan Messer watches the show, okay? Very big fan, but also he knows a bunch of our players up here, which is hilarious.
That's pretty cool.
It's a small world. The football world is a small world. The game was just it was another classic 0-7. It was part of the 0-7 series.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, in terms of the bad, it's nothing new. Periods of inconsistency. The Roughriders had 2 periods with 0 points on the board.
Yeah.
The Elks were just not able to capitalize on opportunities. The defense was up and down. They did get 2 sacks and 2 interceptions, yet not enough coverage for some of those big plays that really cost them.
Yeah.
Right? It's inconsistency. There's just none of it.
No, consistency doesn't exist with this team. We had consistency, but we went ahead and swapped out quarterbacks. And gave the other team 2 weeks notice of us doing it.
Yeah.
We had a player that was playing all right, playing good, had confidence. We swapped it out for the backup in which we were supposed to be handing the keys. He didn't perform because it's kind of a messed up scenario. And maybe our game plan wasn't as good as Winnipeg's, however you want to paint that. Trey Ford did not succeed. He wasn't going to succeed in the second game either.
No.
So you're almost, like, at that point, you're almost setting the guy up for failure. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
And it's things that, they, like you say, it was like the beginning of the season, right? It's going right back to where we started. They got better, and for some reason, they regressed back to the way that they started.
Yeah.
Lots of turnovers, almost 100 yards and penalties.
Yeah.
Like, that's gross.
Terrible.
That's
Terrible.
terrible. The good, of course. I mean, in paper, like you say, in paper, everything looks great. Gino Lewis, Curly Gittens Jr. had tons of yards. MBT, he had 33 of 41 passes complete, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns, no sacks. In paper, check mark, check mark, check mark. But that doesn't necessarily translate.
But your best player on the team is Jake Julian. Oh, and your second best player is Luchez Purifoy. I mean, as of this last week, nobody was an all-star.
No.
As far as performances, except for those two. And really, we're talking about the other side of the ball, the other sides of the ball. We're not talking about offense. Offense didn't necessarily shine.
No.
Offense also gave the ball up more times than not as well. Jason, the Acadian, I'm at the point now that we cut ties with Trey and MBT and go all in on Vernon Adams Jr. Next year, start fresh. Some people feel like that. Calgary also wants big play VA though.
Sorry.
Oh, we glitched. Yeah, they also want big play VA down in Calgary, down in the South. So it'll be interesting. There's going to be a bidding war now for Vernon Adams Jr.
Yeah, we don't know what. Well, and that's what you said. We don't really know. There's so many what ifs. There's so many question marks surrounding this team. A lot of the coaching staff is not even permanent right now.
Where do you start? No, seriously, where do you start? Where do you start with this Edmonton Elks team?
Yeah.
Let's start anywhere. Coaching staff.
Yeah.
Question marks. President to be announced by the end of the month.
Is it?
New president will be announced by the end of the month. We're going to talk about this in the fan forum.
I didn't know it was that close.
Yes, new president in the season. The season's done at the end of the month. It doesn't even matter, right? At least they're giving the president ample time to work with the team. Take a look under the hood, like we heard 3 years ago. Take a look under the hood. We got to take a look under the hood. So,
Mikasi here.
I still can't believe what they did in bringing in Bethel Thompson. I never have and never will call him by the 3 capital letters. The only great sports greats, like people like MJ deserve that.
I like that. So we'll go back to calling him Macbeth or BLT, like some people do.
BLT, the law firm. There's many things you can. McLeod.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names for MBT out there.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of things that are going to happen here shortly with the team. We're really going to find out. The off season is going to be busy, and it's quite stressful, really, because we don't even know what's going to happen with this team. There's so many things up in the air that it's a little crazy.
Everybody's playing for jobs.
Yeah, we'll see. But yes, there's no transactions whatsoever. It's been pretty quiet in terms of injuries. We do have a few people that are on the one game, including Kevin Brown. He had a healthy stretch. He was in a full. Never mind. I saw that somewhere else, but
no, but it's a healthy scratch, so we'll see. I'm sure he'll play.
He was participating. Yeah. Sam Achimpong, he had limited participation due to a knee injury. Gavin Cobb did not participate due to a thigh injury. Noah Curtis, Vincent Forbes Mumblo, and Noah Taylor had limited participation due to either a non-football related or thigh or shoulder for Noah Taylor injuries. So we do have a few. Hopefully There's no outs. There's a one did not participate with Kevin Cobb. That might be the worst of it all with the thigh injury. So we will see. They do have one more practice tomorrow. So keep an eye on the injury list to see who will be playing for the next game.
Yeah.
But the next game, what's next? Saturday, October 12th at 1 p.m. Edmonton versus Calgary.
Yes, at 1 p.m. Time has changed because of CTV.
Mm-hmm.
It will be shown on CTV, which is cool. It's our Thanksgiving game, as we call it. So this is the annual Thanksgiving game. Grab a turkey. Grab a turkey from the east.
Turkey.
From the east to the west. Happy Gobble Gobble Day. The Odell Willis. I'll show you the clip.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen it. But what are we predicting here? 37-20 Elks win. 37-20 Elks win. This is a team playing for pride, playing for jobs.
Let's not go for last.
No, and you can beat. We could have a better result than last year. Really.
Yes.
Edmonton Elks fans, what should have you been expecting this year? Maybe not playoffs. You're hoping for playoffs.
One standing at a time.
Standing at a time.
We're going to crawl our way up.
I like it. That's very realistic. Make it one step every year, one rank further up in the standings. And really, if the Edmonton Elks do that and we get to laugh at Calgary,
yeah, I'm okay with that.
At least we won something this year.
Yeah.
At least you won. If you can sweep Calgary, at least you won something.
Yeah, that will bring me happiness. So
yeah, ABC. Anybody but Calgary.
Yes.
So it'll be fun. 1 p.m. Hopefully we don't have a sick household because of how nasty everything is out there. Wash your hands, folks. This is a great reminder for everybody to wash your hands. It doesn't matter if it's the vid or common flu or whatever may be going around. I know that a lot of people are going down. So wash the hands. If you're sick, wear a mask, be mindful of others and all that other good stuff. I say this like a dad because I kind of am.
PSA.
Little PSA. Yeah. I'm feeling very daddish right now. Next up, we have an Edmonton Sports update. Today's Edmonton Sports update is brought to you by Herties. Sometimes you fake it till you make it, but other times you risk it for the brisket, and Herties doesn't fake nothing. Get your mouth ready for our smokehouse brisket, rubbed by our two hands with only the finest herbs and spices, then smoked for many hours so the juices drip. You'll need a mop to clean the floor. Visit stall 182 to get some of that delicious smoked brisket fun in a bun. 3 hours before Elks versus Argos kickoff. Herties, we smoke the meats. Your Edmonton Elks are currently 5-11, eliminated from the 2024 CFL playoffs after a 28-24 loss to the Saskatchewan Roughriders last Saturday. The Elks traveled to Calgary this Saturday in an effort to sweep this season against the Stampeders. Pride and jobs on the line. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Mountain on CTV. The U of A Golden Bears lost to the UBC Thunderbirds on Friday, posting a 25-35 score at Foot Field. They will host the Manitoba Bison on Saturday at Foot once again, with many stakes on the line. Stakes have never been higher. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Mountain. The Edmonton Oilers have a doubleheader this weekend for the first time this season. The homestand continues at Rogers Place, with the Oil hosting the Blackhawks on Saturday at 8 p.m. and then the Flames on Sunday for a Battle of Alberta at 6 p.m. Mountain. Your Edmonton Oil Kings have a homestand of their own, hosting the Red Deer Rebels on Saturday at 2 p.m. and then the Vancouver Giants on Monday at 12 p.m. Mountain. In BCHL action, the Sherwood Park Crusaders continue their first ever BC road trip in the BCHL on Friday when they face the Chilliwack Chiefs in the BCHL Showcase. On Sunday, they face the Surrey Eagles. Then on Monday, they face the Langley Rivermen. Friday's game is at 7 p.m. Sunday and Monday are at 4 p.m. Mountain. The Sherwood Park Crusaders are always looking for game day volunteers. Contact Len Nunes or Derek Yeomans at Sherwood Park Crusaders to join the crew or visit their website directly at spcrusaders.com. And for more on the Edmonton sports scene, check out our weekly sports articles on shotgunsportsnetwork.ca and our other great shows on the network on our YouTube, which is Shotgun Sports Network. We're the Elks, sir. You're up to date. That was a great exit to that. That was awesome. Perfect timing today.
Production on point.
On point. All right, our affiliates, this is our commercial break. We got to thank you, the viewer, for supporting the network by shopping with Shotgun. By clicking our links and shopping with our affiliates, you help keep this network and even this show running. So thanks again, everybody. Let's talk about Royal Retros real quick. Come on, Royal Retros, the throwback kings. You want a US CFL expansion jersey? You're going to go to Royal Retros. They got them all. Birmingham Cudas. You got the Baltimore Stallions. Memphis Mad Dogs. Damon Allen was a quarterback for the Memphis Mad Dogs. You can get all those jerseys. Classic green and gold. Anything throwback CFL that you can think of. It's going to be over at Royal Retros. You want CFLPA gear? Royal Retros. You want Football Canada gear? Royal Retros. These guys are sneaking into the game. So jump on the wave now before this stuff gets more expensive. Also, you're going to use code Shotgun Sports. All caps, no spaces for 10% off over at Royal Retros. Go check out the Throwback Kings. Fanatics. Everybody knows Fanatics. Check out the link and make sure you hit up their discounts too, because they always got something on sale over at Fanatics. Shop with Shotgun and Fanatics. Check out the link. Lather. Finally, Lather here. We got to talk about the Lather. They have all their new spooky scents coming out. Well, no, they're already out right now.
Spooky scents.
They have spooky scents.
A zombie scent. Sorry.
They have a zombie scent. Yeah, you're checking it out right now as we speak. Rustic Pumpkin. They have a new zombie scent. Spooky scents are out now, so go check them out if you want 20% off.
What does a zombie smell like? Find out.
Find out by going over to Lather, LATHR. It's lather without the E.com, and save 20% off by using code Shotgun Sports, all caps, no spaces, Shotgun Sports 20. Go get that 20% off. Canadian handmade soap, garage built business. Smell damn good with Lather and Shotgun Sports. And then business and brand owners, please reach out if you're interested in sponsoring any of our shows or our website articles or content. The line is always open. Reach out by emailing admin@shotgunsportsnetwork.ca to get your business or brand noticed. All right. I think we all know what time it is. It's time for Catherine to drink some coffee because she gives It's bedtime. No, it is time to open up the fan forum. Let's go. We're opening it up. In this segment, we're going to talk about hot topics surrounding the Edmonton Elks and the CFL as a whole. Blow up the herd chat so we can get your comments onto the show. Today's fan forum is brought to you by the Rouge, White, and Blue podcast. Americans talking Canadian football. Oz and Joe can now be seen on Shotgun Sports Network, bringing their audibles to your screens. Everyone's favorite point, white and blue. Built by Jake Julian and Boris Beatty. All right. Question number one, everybody. You know the drill. Let's blow it up here. Let's blow up this herd chat. Get in on these questions. The Edmonton Elks have been eliminated from playoff contention for the fourth year in a row. The Elks have already posted a better record this year than any of the last 3 years, which isn't saying much, but it does show improvement. What is coming for this team in the offseason, and where do the Elks go from here? Herd chat, what changes do you want to see in the offseason? What are the pitchforks out for? What does this team need? Armchair GMs, everybody. What is your opinion? Let's start with Catherine.
I feel like, just like at the start of this year, they have all the building blocks. And with those building blocks, now they know the things that are going wrong. So all you can do is better the things that are going wrong, which we've talked about. A lot of those are coachable. You know, when it comes to turnovers, penalties, all that crap that we've seen on and off, that is definitely coachable. You know, the the second and outs, that's play calling. Maybe that's more in a coaching thing, then we'll see that. But what I mean is that unless we see a lot of movements on the off season, which hopefully for players we won't, we have the building blocks. We have a really good team. We have the pieces of something really great. They just got to bring it all together and fix all those things that are broken and have a really well-oiled machine.
I think you know what, I think you're mostly right. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think that the player roster itself is actually good.
Mhm.
Right? It's yeah, and I like Jason's question here in the her chat as well. What do you want to see in the last 2 games, which is essentially going to set you up for the offseason, right? But Jarius Jackson has shown much immaturity in some of his decisions as a head coach.
Mhm.
So what do I want to see going in, like in the offseason? I don't know if Jarius Jackson has done enough to save his job. Let's put it
Right.
that way.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done enough to save his job as head coach. He may get relegated and they may bring somebody in if they really think that he's that good of an offensive coordinator. But we're more than likely, unless there's heavy contracts that are tying up some of these positions,
Right.
we're more than likely seeing quite a bit of change in there. I think Almondo Sewell would more than likely be staying.
Yeah, he did really well.
The
I
D
mean,
line has done great.
defense has been just like everything in this team. Like there's been moments of
There's been great,
greatness.
sorry, but moments of greatness.
There's
Yes.
been moments of greatness, and then there's been moments of absolute just horrible times. So it's that inconsistency and that we keep seeing, right? So Sewell, he's done great in the moments that he's shown that, little tidbits of greatness within the team. But then there's other pieces that are not really coming together, right? So,
Well, yeah, and I mean, offensive coordinating, I think the offensive coordinating is a little bit uninventive at times. I
mhm,
think it's very cookie cutter at times.
mhm,
I think when you look at how bad the other defenses have stifled our offense,
100%.
why do you think Macbeth? Don't want to offend Mick Ossie here by dropping the big old MB and T on them, but when you see McLeod Bethel Thompson check down,
Yeah.
or you see Trey Ford scrambling, looking for his read, not seeing it right away, and going to a scramble. Well, the other team's defenses are doing the film. They're watching the
Yeah.
film. They're looking at the plays. They're deciphering the plays and the
Yeah.
lineups
Oh,
and everything. Right? That's good film. And
and when
I
your offense is predictable,
yeah, it's a predictable offense.
it's just that there's only one way you can go, and that way is going to be 2 and outs and punting the ball away,
Yeah.
right? So it's predictable, is inconsistency, is the same mistakes that we keep seeing over and over again.
And Jason here, this team was talented and showed a lot of promise. What would be your ideal management or coaching changes this year, right? And I think Jason Shivers did good. I think Jason Shivers has done great with this defense. I think that for the most part, the defense has actually played rather well. I think the special teams has turned a bit of a corner. Did we get a return touchdown this year? No, I think we had one and it was called back.
I think, I don't, yeah, I think so.
Because the end of last year, we had a return
Yes,
touchdown.
we did. And that
ending
was
the curse
like
of
the big,
Gizmo.
yeah, that was the curse.
So I would say offensive coordinator. I would say starting, like for starters, one person per job. Stop with the split role stuff. Obviously, they had to do this to get through the season.
Yeah.
But Jarius Jackson, either let him just be an offensive coordinator or let him be a head coach.
Right.
If
Yeah,
they
we've seen that way too many times.
Way
and
too
how
many
much
times.
It's failed this team.
Correct. It's also failing Dave Dickinson down in Calgary right now.
Right. It's too much. It's too much for one person.
It is too much for one person, especially when you consider how much is within one job, let alone two. Especially at head coach.
Mhm.
You're orchestrating everybody else.
Mhm.
Plus you're orchestrating your job. Oh, and you also still have to do that job at the very bottom of it as well. You still have to be the offensive coordinator. You still have to do installs. You still have to. So
I don't know. Do you think Jarius Jackson does better as a head coach or as an offensive coordinator?
I thought he did decent as a head coach. but he lacks that experience.
Mhm.
There's still certain things, and maybe that will come with time as being a head coach. The Edmonton Elks are still in win now.
Yeah.
Next season, Larry Thompson is going to find the people that will find the right people that will find the right people. This is going to be a bit of a trickle down effect, right? So first step, you need a new president. Sean Fleming's name has been thrown out there. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that.
Mhm.
The three-headed monster at running back.
Oh.
Who comes back and who do you cut ties with? At this point, I think Kevin Brown is outsider looking in. That's crazy to say.
It is crazy to say because
He's a good
he's
running back.
amazing. He's absolutely amazing, but I feel like with Kevin Brown, sometimes it's a little bit of a one-trick pony, right? He's able to rush through and get to places sometimes if the O-line is able to make
Yep.
enough room for him. Otherwise, I mean, thankfully that he's small and mighty and he can push through some of those players that we haven't seen
Rankin?
before. No,
Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown can.
He can, but that's not ideal for him.
Rankin does it better though.
Yeah.
I will say that Rankin has that Andrew Harris type.
Well, you have Javon Leake that just goes through people and does his little spins and you know, like a little pinball going through. So I agree. In a very weird turn of events, especially from last year, Kevin Brown is not the one to watch in that position.
Okay, this is the fan forum, so I guess we'll entertain this comment. Hey, can I call into your program and explain why Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time? That might be a reference to what Mick Aussie was mentioning earlier about the MB and T and the MJ, and obviously you say MJ because MJ is great, but you can't say MBT because MBT obviously is not great. I mean, hey, the universe here of what is it? The universe of sports.
Oh, no idea.
Can you show it on the stream again?
I'll show it again.
The Universe Galaxy NBA. Feel free to just spout off, and we will read it on the show anyways.
I love it.
That may be Dustin Nielsen's shadow account. Yes, Jason, I think you are correct. I was going to say because LeBron is the greatest of all time.
That's not even on topic at this point.
No, but that might be a Dustin Nielsen burner account. That is hilarious.
That's so funny. Well, we're gonna stick to being politically correct, and we're just gonna call him BLT from now on.
Politically correct. Politically correct.
Politically correct. That's what he's going to be from now on, just to avoid any sort of controversy.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, I like changes. There's going to be a lot. What changes do I want to see? I don't even know if I really want to see a quarterback change. There's not a whole ton of personnel, but there will be in the coaching department. I expect quite a few. Also, when a president comes in, the president chooses a GM. The GM chooses their head coach. That head coach chooses their coaching staff. That's the other thing that people are missing as well. We could be looking at, in theory, like a 50% new coaching staff, depending on contracts and who hires who.
We really don't know what's going to happen. Do you have any potential names or anybody that you have in mind that would be a really good alternative to what we have for some of the coaching positions that we know are temporary?
Like a Mark Killam from Calgary. It's just that sometimes coaches have an issue with going across the fence, and then also Mark Killam has been in contention for multiple head coaching jobs, and he never gets them. Prying away like a Buck Pierce. Prying away, like trying to pry away some of these coaches that are out there, or maybe their contracts are up. It might be slim pickings, but it might also be a case of, once again, a head coach gets hired and he selects his coaching staff.
Yeah.
So, like, as far as a head coach, who would I want to see as a head coach right now come in? Yeah, are you gambling again? Are you going to gamble on somebody that has not been in that?
Bring back Chris Jones. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Jeez. No, I have a legit account. It's actually very popular, and you can find tons of places in in the media on Google that have referenced my page. But anyways, it's not practical to type it all out. Hey, we tried. We tried. We appreciate you tuning in tonight, man. We or whoever you may be. They.
So let's I mean, just to close that off, we really we don't know. We don't know. All we want to see is an improvement. And I think that's the same thing that we said last year, for the state of the game, or the team, for the state of the team, as long as they're improving on what they have built. And I think this year we have seen an improvement on last year.
Kathy's
so
like,
let's just continue.
We just want to see good changes. We just want to see a positive change.
We just want to see wins.
What type of changes do you want to see in this team in the offseason? Well, in the offseason though, positive changes. Jason here. I like what Jason said. Jordan Maximic out of BC might be the guy to go with if we stick with Trey or go with Vernon Adams. Jordan Maximic, he went over to BC from Edmonton with Michael Riley because he was offensive coordinator, decided to be offensive coordinator over there. Jordan Maximic does have some ties to that 2015 team, 2016, around there. I think that, let's just talk about the president. Let's talk about the president part, because this is the president part of it is very, very important as well. It does set things up.
It's coming pretty quickly.
Coming very quickly by the end of the month. So the game day atmosphere. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so question number 2. Yes, the game day atmosphere at Commonwealth Stadium has improved, yet the team on the turf is once again back to being a flywheel without speed. The hype has died. The fans have moved on to hockey season, and the sudden end of the season has begun to aim 2 games early. Larry Thompson is injecting the money as he should, as a good owner. Now he needs a proper football mind to run the show as a president. Who do you want to see as president of the Edmonton Elks under Larry Thompson? The reason why this one is so much bigger is because this is ultimately the beginning of the dominoes.
Yeah.
So Sean Fleming is a name that has been thrown out there.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Sean Fleming, that would be a great mind. People have also mentioned Victor Cui, having Victor Cui come back.
I personally really liked what Victor was doing. And just to put it into context on how much he actually listened to the fans, he asked us to spearhead a petition to get rid of the clear bag policy. Now that's just in terms of spearheading, in terms of like bringing awareness to it and try to get names and all of that, which we did. But that's one of the parts that I think is very important, because I don't think anybody else tried. He tried. It didn't get anywhere because this is a city and there's only so much we can do. But it's the fact that he was willing to do something about it.
Yeah,
to me, that spoke volumes on where he wanted to take that part of the organization, because a president, a CEO, should have nothing to do with the operational side of the team. Ops, football ops, and president and CEO of a team are 2 completely different positions.
No,
this should be about bringing in awareness, making your season ticket holders happy, things to do with the fans, things to do with the team itself overall as an organization. So somebody like Victor Cui, he seemed to have a lot of the fans.
He's a very fan forward. Yes. He was a very fan forward president, but then whatever, we don't know whatever happened behind the scenes. We don't know any of that stuff. Don't know what happened with his with him leaving the Elks or whatever.
But somebody like that.
You need somebody that is also like Larry Thompson, who is who's an owner, who is also a fan, right? So you need people that care about this team, people that have put blood, sweat, and tears into the team. A Sean Fleming would be great.
Yes. Well, and he's past player, fan,
but also has great business insight. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, and that's what you need. I mean,
successful businessman.
At the end of the day, this is a business you want to grow it, so make sure it doesn't completely crash and burn, and then suddenly either the prices have to go up just to keep the team afloat, or everything just
Well, and Larry Thompson, I would say, is not scared of hiring former Double E guys that
Yeah.
care about this team. Like, take a look at the Aaron Grimes signing.
Yeah, I feel
As
like that
a
might
coach
be.
and an ambassador.
Yes, I feel like that might be another thing that he's also doing, like bringing in a lot more people that are valuable to the organization in many
Mhm.
ways, like alumni or anything like that. So I could see it. I could see him bringing in a president and CEO that has been involved with the organization in some way or another in the past. I could see it.
Yeah, you definitely want somebody with a bit of experience anyways, right?
course.
Especially in the CFL. Ed Hervey. So Ed Hervey is a name that's been thrown out there. And this is very important because Ed Hervey would be a huge Domino's guy.
Mm.
Huge Domino's guy. Oh, Ray and Benny. Shout out to Ray and Benny in the herd chat saying go Jets go.
No,
I'm
wrong show.
I'm scared to check the score. I will tell you that.
Wrong show.
Wrong show. This is Edmonton, Ray. This is Edmonton.
Go-
No. Also, speaking of Ray and Benny, make sure that make sure you check out Ray and Benny. Go give them a follow. Go give them a like and all that stuff. But also, they are in our creator co-op on shotgunsportsnetwork.ca. We don't talk about it enough, but there's a lot of other great creators that we like to celebrate. It's on shotgunsportsnetwork.ca. Check out the tab and you will find Creator Co-op. Ray and Benny also love Ed Hervey. So Jason here in the herd chat is also saying, I've heard Fleming is one of the only people that Ed Hervey respects. So maybe we would see Ed Hervey and Fleming maybe both in the organization at some point.
Maybe.
That would be really interesting, but from what is gathered, it seems like Ed Hervey, I don't know if he's going to come over for a lateral move. He may be coming over to get a bit of a promotion.
Right.
So not just GM, but maybe he'd move up to president.
Right.
President of football of football ops, or no, it wouldn't be. Yeah, it would be president of football ops. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I do think that there are the right people out there as president. But let's say if you do get Ed Hervey, well, it's a huge domino scenario. You will get some really spectacular people. The roster, it's going to be probably pretty good. There's a lot of great things that Ed Hervey does, right?
Well, and I think having Larry as the owner will really, put some of those things in perspective.
Yeah.
Because he's a fan first and foremost. So I think he'll make the right decisions.
Yeah, Jason here. Thank you, Jason. This is the info I was looking for. Possible Fleming president of business and Hervey president of football ops and GM. So yes, and that's actually, they talked about it on EST.
Nice.
So they've been talking about this, chewing it up pretty good. Always recommend listening to EST and checking out EST, but
yeah,
especially 6:00 p.m. on Fridays where you can hear this show. But it'll be another off season of changes for Edmonton Elks fans. Like Jason also said earlier on in the herd chat, we still have 2 more games. Next one, beat the Stamps, win with some pride, and then you have a final home game here at Commonwealth Stadium on October 25th. This is everybody's playing for jobs. This is down to the wire now for anybody that wants to remain with this team next year.
Yeah,
and I think that they should develop Daggy. Why not? If something happens with both of these quarterbacks, let's say we don't get Trey Ford, let's say Trey Ford walks, let's say MBT goes to other pastures, and we have Daggy, maybe we can re-sign Daggy, develop him. He's a great drop back quarterback. He obviously needs some work. He needs some starters reps. Yeah. He needs some proper starters practice as well.
Yeah.
But I think Jared Daggy has great potential. I think that there's a lot of players on this team with great potential. Nick Anderson, you keep him. They've built, like you said earlier, they have a good foundation. They've built this foundation up even more now.
Yeah.
Coaching has been a problem with this team all year.
Yeah. Well, now it's their chance.
And if you have an Ed Hervey in at president of football ops and GM, then this would look fantastic. And then you have Sean Fleming on the other side of it. Well, you have 2 former green and gold players or green and gold alumni. You have those guys spearheading the campaign on and off the turf. Can't ask for more.
Yeah, that'd be exciting.
It would be.
It would be.
There's lots of reasons to be excited about this team. People are sick and tired of talking about this team sucking.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting in media. I had a really good chat with Maddie Awanik about it. And I was like, yeah, man, when the Elks were winning, like you could see the rise in viewership on the show. You could see how excited people were about around town. People wanted to talk Elks. People were coming up to me and talking Elks with me at work.
Mm-hmm.
When people normally wouldn't want to talk about Elks at all. Like you started reaching those corners again. And then all of a sudden, team started to lose again. Team went down the same path it was on the 0-7.
Yep.
And people got sick of talking about Elks. And that's understandable.
We've said it many, many times. All it takes is winning.
That's it.
But you got to start somewhere, right? I mean, you may have all the talent that you need to win, but where's that talent going to go with the wrong coaching decisions or with the wrong calls or not being developed properly?
Well, imagine if you're a player and you don't know what's going on with this team next year.
Yeah.
Like Niles Morgan. Niles Morgan is a real one. He's been here through it all.
Yeah.
Niles Morgan is a real one. Huge shout out to Niles Morgan for loving this city.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot to love this city. It also takes a lot to love this city and to stick around.
Too.
Tanner Green, longest serving double E.
Yeah, he's been through it.
He's been through it too. Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, just so there's a lot of players out there that take pride in being in Edmonton and being an Edmonton Elk or whatever EWE team, whatever it may be. Doesn't matter. They take pride in being where they are and playing for this team. It's just a matter of bringing the pieces together.
Yeah. Bringing in guys that would bring the pride back to the colors. That's part of Larry Thompson's vision of getting back to the winning ways.
Well, and I think that was one of maybe the issues with Chris Jones is that with that revolving door and bringing in guys that maybe, that just somebody to fill in a role.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have any sort of ties or any interests outside of a job. Right. And when you're bringing in somebody that actually has that interest and once again, pride in being part of this organization, then it changes things because now the job means more than just a job.
Well, and I would say that this organization still continues to champion great initiatives off the turf. And technically those are even on the turf with the kids flag football league.
For sure. Yeah.
There's so many great things that this organization does and the players. How about at that flag football camp, at the flag football league, like MBT giving pointers to kids and watching them go through their progressions and everything. There's so many cool things that this organization does.
Mm-hmm.
There's still lots of reason to have pride. There's 2 more games. So imagine if the Elks pull off both of these wins, all of a sudden you're looking at a 7-11.
Yeah.
7-11 season. Well, that does kind of suck, but it also does show a lot of improvement. You won 3 more games.
100%.
3 more games than last year, and they can do that. I know that we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but realistically, the season is over for this team. They are now playing for individual jobs and really jobs for next year, contracts and film. And they're everybody's playing for themselves at this point while still being a team.
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting last 2 games. We're still going to be out there in the stands. Might head over to Century Casino at 1 p.m. on Saturday and go see Maddie and Jay over at EST as they do their typical thing. We'll see. We'll do the pre and post game from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Not me. I have the boys. They're not allowed.
No, but we'll see how decimated the house is by illness. We'll see if I'm in quarantine mode. Alrighty. Chris Jones was a Chris Jones guy, not an Elks guy. Let's end the fan forum with that one.
Yeah.
Close it. Love it. Jason the Acadian. All right. We're going to close this fan forum. Catherine can't stop yawning. So that means we're done for the night. We got to say thanks to Strathcona Sam for joining the show today. That was a really good chat. That was a really good chat. Really good chat. We also got to thank you, the viewer, the listener, for tuning into the show, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, which would be the Elks Herd, or if you're listening on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Edmonton Sports Talk, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, we salute you. Once again, my name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Do You Even Elks?
We are the Elks Herd. This was the Elks Call, and we will see you all on the next episode, hopefully after a win against those Calgary Stampeders, because ABC. Cheers, everybody.
Have a good night.